Now to that ABC News exclusive. Army Sgt Bowe Bergdahl is talking to cameras for the first time since being released by the Taliban after he was captured walking off a combat outpost in Afghanistan. That was 8 years ago. Well, this morning he is expected to plead guilty to charges of desertion and endangering his fellow soldiers at Fort Bragg. Our chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross is here with much more on all this. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Robin. Sgt Bergdahl is expected to enter his guilty plea to desertion charges during a court-martial hearing that begins this morning at Fort Bragg. In an exclusive TV interview this morning, Bergdahl says it would be impossible to get a fair trial, given the words of candidate Donald Trump, who is now his commander-in-chief.
My name is Bowe Bergdahl.
Bowe Bergdahl had been held 5 years by the Taliban when he was released in this dramatic moment. Squinting in the sunlight after being confined to a cage by his captors, U.S. Special Forces were there for the handover. As Bergdahl was gaining his freedom, the U.S. was releasing 5 Taliban prisoners from Guantanamo as part of a prisoner swap, a deal that became a highly politicized issue, especially given that Bergdahl had walked off his post without permission and that at least 2 soldiers were seriously injured during the search to find him.
He's a traitor, a no-good traitor, who should have been executed.
Now in his first on-camera interview, obtained exclusively by ABC News, Bergdahl says the words of candidate Trump would have made a fair trial impossible.
We may as well go back to kangaroo courts and lynch mobs that got what they wanted.
Bing, boom, he's gone.
The people who are to the point of saying, yeah, just shoot him, you can never convince those people to change their minds. And
it hurts, though.
It does hurt.
Bergdahl told British filmmaker Sean Langan, himself held by the same Taliban group, that he wants to fight back against what he calls the false reports that he was a traitor.
And had declared himself a, quote, mujahid, or warrior for Islam.
It's insulting. It's very insulting, the idea that they don't think I did it.
In fact, according to Army officials, Bergdahl twice tried to escape from his captivity and was severely punished, beaten, and put in a cage like an animal.
It's a cage that was welded together. It's about 7 foot long by about 6 foot wide.
And how long were you in that cage for?
2nd, 3rd, 4th, and into the 5th year.
Now that he plans to plead guilty, the question for the military will be, what punishment does Sgt Bergdahl deserve, including possible prison? In the interview recorded last year, Bergdahl does not address why he walked away from his post, but elsewhere he has said it was to report an incompetent commander. People in the military doubt that, and even so they think it's no excuse for what he did, Robin.
All right, Brian, and you can see more of our Bowe Bergdahl exclusive on World News Tonight and also a special edition of Nightline.